It's time to think about winter well before the first major winter storm of the season.
Yeah, our First Alert meteorologists, they have been analyzing the data. They are the team of experts with the insight of what we can expect this winter.
So let's turn it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers with a breakdown of what we can expect this winter.
Yeah,
Chris?
no doubt about this, guys. Few things get more attention than the chill of another winter season ahead. Sure, no doubt that snow is going to be falling very soon. To the glee of some, maybe to the despair of others. And the mounds of snow and the piles, no doubt they are going to grow. But recently, only a few winters have been memorable. The question is, how will this winter season measure up? Now, the First Alert Weather Team has been researching months of data, and let's dive into what may shape the winter season ahead. The first thing that we're going to look at is the overall global circulation. Now, this is going to focus in on La Nina. This is the overall cooler than average Pacific waters off the coast of South America. Now, this is crucial in our overall atmospheric circulation. Essentially, what this does is it modifies our polar jet stream. So what typically brings us the colder air in the winter season, it's a more active branch or northern focus of that jet stream. With blocking high pressure off the North Pacific, the funneling of that cold Arctic air down into the Pacific Northwest and the northern tier of the country becomes more frequent through a La Nina winter. Now, that also energizes our polar jet stream, bringing more active storm tracks across the Great Lakes region. That tends to enhance the overall precipitation through a La Nina winter. So we do expect that it will be a wetter than normal winter season. We'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit. Another thing that we look at is the overall Great Lakes region. And no surprise, in our very warm autumn season, we've had above average lake temperatures. Now, that may somewhat modify our temperatures early in the winter season, but could also enhance the precipitation with lake effect and lake enhanced snowfalls. We also look at snow cover across Canada. Now, at this point in the season, it is below average. This is typically a breeding ground for some of our colder Arctic air. We also look across the globe all the way over into Siberia. They have above average snow cover. In certain situations through the winter season, we could get what is called cross-polar flow. Now, that flow across the globe is something that could bring some very cold air from Siberia into our area late in the winter season. And of course, we couldn't get through a winter weather outlook without talking the polar vortex. At this point, all indications point toward the polar vortex being very stable and very strong early in the season. What that does, that strong circulation, the upper layers of the atmosphere, keeps the cold Arctic air up into the North Pole. So when the polar vortex is strong, we actually tend to see mild weather. However, as the winter season wears on, we're more likely to get disruptions in that polar vortex. That may allow some of that cold Arctic air across the North Pole to make its way down into North America. So I have the top 7 things that influence a winter season, the polar vortex being one of them, the Siberian and Canadian snow cover another, the Great Lakes ice cover and the Great Lakes water temperature in general, the Arctic and North Atlantic oscillation. Now, these are a few indicators that typically give us a couple weeks lead time in very mild or very cold weather patterns. If that phase goes negative, we're likely to see cold weather in about 2 to 3 weeks. The La Nina phase is one of the big characteristics in our winter weather forecast, and also a general warming climate. It's been quite some time since we've had a cold, harsh winter. Our winters over time have been growing slightly warmer. And the number one thing that could influence a winter weather season is, of course, hitting the big one. Any storm in particular could make one particular winter season very memorable. So overall, we will have a mild winter season across the eastern half of the country. That is going to be in line with our La Nina winter. It is likely to be wetter than average with a more active storm track that will focus on much of the Great Lakes region. Wetter than normal. So here's how it breaks down. More frequent storms will be expected, likely to be near normal with snowfall, which we average around 37 inches of snowfall. However, our rainfall and the potential of ice could be above normal with more frequent storms. Our winter forecast is also going to be talking about the temperatures. Likely to be warmer than normal with higher variability with the ups and downs through the course of the winter season. So we may be thinking, well, just let it snow and get on with the winter season. That is a look at your First Alert official winter weather forecast. And now it is time to play in the snow, Melissa and Jeff.
Are you inviting us? Oh.
Did you bring your hats and gloves?
We should have bundled up.
I'm tempted. I'm tempted. Well, I would personally go with the warmer and the more snow. I think that's okay.
And then I'm going to get more, I guess, scientific as far as what you were pointing out there, Chris. And you said warmer temperatures. So does that mean we could potentially have a rainier winter?
Exactly right, Jeff. So when we call for more active winter seasons, it doesn't necessarily always equate to more snowfall.
Yeah.
Typically in these La Nina type of winters, we see above average precipitation, but it usually equates to around average snowfall. But of course, there's always wild cards and kickers to that. Much of last year, which was also a La Nina, was mild and relatively snow-free until the whopper of a snowstorm that hit us in February. And who could forget the late April snow that we had last year as well?
I'm gonna try out the snow. I'm gonna walk out and
Plenty of room. Snowball fight, Melissa.
He's gonna hurt his back.
That's probably what's gonna happen. We all know how this ends.
How do you think the crew's gonna feel cleaning this all up?
They're gonna have a little bit of work to do. I'm gonna slowly get out of this.